So about Monday, August 28th. Let's just say it was an incredibly long, eventful, exciting, memorable day. Eventful being the key word here. It all started in the morning, pulling out my anchor, which is normally an event in itself. I was in Reed Creek up on the Chester River, anchored from the night before, and I was pulling up my anchor. And so usually when I pull up my anchor, I pull up as much slack as I can. I also have 30 feet of chain, so I pull up as much slack as I can until the anchor is completely like straight up and down from the water, from the bow. But of course this morning it was in really strong winds and the current was pushing me a lot quicker than I anticipated, like pretty close to shore. Like I moved pretty fast, and so I guess of course passing wind in all of this, its line was somehow got under the boat. I don't know. Analyze the situation. I kicked it into gear and the line got stuck in the propeller, immediately seizing the engine. All the while I am drifting very quickly ashore into very shallow water. So, I mean, in a very split second of my, oh my goodness, what's going on? Bleep, 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 cuss words running out of my head. Only very quickly, like half a second. Obviously, I had to run up front and just immediately cut the anchor. So I didn't really have time to freak out. It was like a first instinct drop the anchor. So yeah, then I called up Matt because he was supposed to meet me at where I was going in Kent Narrows. He was going to meet me there because we have some stuff we need to work on the boat, and I called him. I said, plans change. I'm kind of stuck in this creek. The line is wrapped around the propeller. Of course, once the line got stuck around the propeller and the engine seized, I was anticipating I was going to be getting in the water that day. Poor Matt was the only one that got in the water. He was in the water, dove for it, cut the line free. Of course, it is incredibly hard to see. So it took him a while. I mean, he did it way faster than I ever could or I anticipated. But he can't see, and he's got to hold his breath to go down there and cut the line. And of course, this line, you cut through the outer part of it, and then there's still the inner nylon, and the knife wasn't working. It took a while. He stayed aboard to then sail to Kent Narrows with me because Kent Narrows is known for incredibly strong currents and a really tricky channel. So we pulled up anchor and pulled out of Reed Creek, no problemo, and then we pulled out the jib and went sailing, and we were cruising. I mean, engine off, we were going. I clocked the whole jib out at one point, 6.7 knots. So you come into the channel and then there's kind of like a right turn. It's not a 90-degree turn, but it's pretty close. And then all of a sudden we're, I don't even know, there was the bobstay snaps, which is a cable on the very front of the bow. I honestly have no idea what a bobstay was until Monday, and this is the most I've ever used this word. And apparently it's like kind of important if you have it. I mean important as in risking the entire rigging and mast totally toppling over. So that was fun. And so our plan then at this point was like, we gotta get in there where it's less wind and everything in there. We finally get out of the channel and into the little bay area in Kent Narrows, and still pretty windy. The sail keeps catching. I mean, I clocked us going in at 7.3 knots. I think that's the fastest this boat will ever move. We luckily though ended up pulling stern to the crab house right there to kind of use it as a blocking the wind, and Steven on the other motorboat pulled up next to us And they kind of jerry-rigged. I mean, honestly, I'm just standing on deck because I had no idea what happened. And all I know is something not good happened. But we ended up then, once we tying it off, I mean, we were also in there trying to tie, as we're trying to get control of the boat, like one of us, like at one point Matt was at the helm and I was up there trying to reel in the sail, and it was absolutely impossible because you would get 3/4 of it in, like wrapped around, and then all of a sudden the wind would catch it and you would just about fly off the deck. It was finally like, all right, it's a little dangerous. We'll probably just like Matt's idea of pulling stern to was definitely the best choice. We ended up pulling into Piney Narrows into the slip, finally. And the woman the deckhand, the woman there was kind of like, we saw you guys struggling out there, like, are you alright? Because it was kind of, everything was alright though. I mean, not now, but ended up, I needed like a deep breath even thinking about it now. We made it through. We were in an incredibly stressful situation, but we figured it out. You don't have enough, there's no other choice but to figure out. All I have to say is I am so grateful that when this happened, Matt was aboard, because I know it was bound to happen. If it didn't happen then, like, it was gonna happen at some point.